everyone! So we are here. Hi! It's Julia. We are here and you will come with us to Modulor and we're gonna try to survive Modulor and avoid buying everything that we see. So to get to Modulor, you get off at the Moritzplatz train station. It's the U8, and then you follow the signs for, where it is, Design Academy, and you get out of that exit. This is the first time for both of us of doing a vlog sort of guide, and we don't really know what we're doing, and yeah, we'll see what happens today. So when you get into Modulor, there are these very nice lockers that you can use, and they're particularly useful, especially in winter, if you have a lot of jackets and stuff, since every inside is super warm. So you just put all your stuff in there, and then you grab €1, put it in. And you can also leave your bag, it's pretty safe, and you close it, and you have your key. So one of the things that I absolutely love about this place are this insane amount of cool metal boxes of all size that they have, and that you can use for like pencils or watercolors and stuff. And like, come here. And you can also paint them. And how did you paint this?
I used watercolor ground, then watercolors on it, and a layer of fixative varnish.
And yeah, they have all this size, and like I love using like this size for pencils, and they also have this kind of bigger pencil cases, but this one is good to put in your bag. And I bought, where is that size? Oh, there was a small, like this size is good like for short pastels and stuff, and there was another small size one, but maybe they're out, which is good for watercolors. Yeah, it's like the bigger version of this one. You can use for watercolors, like for a small watercolor box. So after you come in, the first temptation that you will add is the pigment calligraphy pen liner section, and they have the Sakura. Oh my god! They have the Sakura pigment liners, and it's this brand here, and they are crazy good. Like they have a super cool ink flow, and they have all colors, and they also have, for the black one, they have the, where is the camera? The brush. Can you open this? Thanks. Like the brush tip one, and it's very flexible brush tip, and the ink flow in these pigment liners is amazing. Like I love it so much. So this is the Sakura brush pigment liner, and this is the brush tip, and as you can see, like the ink flow is amazing. This is kind of dry because it's the trial one, but the ink flow is very good, and the tip is a felt tip, but it has a very nice flexibility, and you can have a wide variety of brush strokes. So this one is good. And in this section over here they have all the Tombow brushes, and with different all the colors and stuff. And the Tombow brushes are cool because they are water based, so you can also melt them. The only Pentel brush pen with bristles, synthetic bristles that they have is this one, which is the pocket brush. And it's not one of my favorites because you can't really control the ink flow, but you know, it's very commonly used between comic book artists, so they have it. And also they have these, which I'm absolutely in love with, which are the Tombow calligraphy pens. And they have two kinds, this greenish one and this bluish focus. Yeah, this bluish one, and this is hard tip and the other is soft tip. I'm gonna show them to you. Okay, so these are the, oh wait, let me use they don't have the master. Okay, I'm gonna use this, I'm sorry, Modulor. So these are the two Tombow calligraphy pen that they have. So the blue one, the hard tipped one, is as like, yeah, okay. The R-tip one is not very flexible. The ink flow is crazy good. And I'm using this for writing more than drawing because it's kind of hard. I think it depends on what is your hand in drawing. If you have a soft hand, this can be a good choice. But since I am like a trucker, I prefer this other one, the greenish one, because the tip is way more flexible, so more ink comes out of it faster, and it follows the movements of my hands better. I love this. I'm in love with this. The only problem that I have with this is that the ink is not water soluble, so it's perfect if you want to use it for line drawing, like contour, but if you want to melt it, yeah. And then they have the Tombows, which I'm just gonna use this one. The Tombows are water-based, so you can use them in combination with water brushes to have the melted effect. And the ink flow is a little bit slower because the ink is different, it's more like marker-like, and it has like two tips, the big one and the traditional small one. So after looking at the brush pens, we're moving on to the sketchbook section, and that is when everybody fails, because like, look at this. And this is only like two sides of it, like also behind me, like I am surrounded by sketchbook. This is a mess. We're not gonna survive this. Okay, so what they have here is the VNS Anemole sketchbook. It's a drawing and sketching sketchbook, and this is one of my favorite one because the texture of the paper, the roughness of the paper is awesome for drawing, and it really catches soft pencils well, so you can really create those gradients in a very, very nice and easy way. And they have all sizes, and the price is decent. Like this one, which is the bigger one, is €12.50, and the paper is 140 grams, which means that it also can hold one layer of watercolor, maybe two, but like you can also give one layer of color to your sketches. And I absolutely am in love with this sketchbook. I love it so much. I'm gonna go away with it. And they also have from Anemole, they have this new thing. This is quite recent. It's the tonal paper sketchbooks, and they made this gray color version. I tried this, I did some sketches on it, and the thing is that the color is good, the tonal point is good, but the paper is very, very smooth, so it's not really ideal for the way that I tend to sketch. Like, it doesn't really catches the grip the texture of the paper. There is no texture in the paper, so the pencil doesn't really have a texture. These are also, they also have these sea white sketchbooks, which are also 140 grams, but they're smoother than the Anemulle, so they're more good for, oh, this is a tester one, they did stuff in it. But this is good for markers, pigment liners, more that kind of, or easy pencil sketches. This is better than the, like, this is more suited to that thing. And but also being 140 grams, it can hold, I think, one layer of watercolor too. I've never tried this, so I can tell you how the watercolor reacts on this paper. And now let's move on here, because I saw that they have a new brand of sketchbooks, Modulor. Modulor. Why are you doing this to me? Why? So now I have to buy this because I need to review it and to tell you something about it, because it's 140 grams. So is there a master of this? No. Okay, so I can't even touch the paper. What is this sorcery? Okay, but it's 140 grams. And do they say anything? Sketch, pencil, charcoal. Okay, guys, I'm buying this. I'm buying this because I want to try it. And let's see the price. So oh, it's super cheap too. The big one, it's €10.90, and the small pocket one, it's €5.90. Are you kidding me? If the paper is good, this is awesome. And this is, you know, like, this is the problem with Modulor. Like, you get in here and then every corner there's something cool. But we need to survive together to all this.
So let's buy two of these.
Let's buy two of these.
That's how we survive.
Yes, I think we need a basket. Okay.
That's like,
okay, yeah, let's grab this. Bye. I'm gonna find go find a basket. This is how we give up. What they also have at Modulor that it's super cool is that they have basically the bone naked sketchbooks that you can then use for book binding. So you can buy these and then use book binding paper and create your personalized cover. The only problem with this is that the paper is not really that cool. Like, it's a good drawing paper, but it's very smooth. It doesn't have an interesting texture. But for writing, or just, you know, if you want to give a nice present to someone, this is cool. And the range of price, it's also very good. So they also have the semicolon series of sketchbooks in all sizes, and they also have the hardcover. They have the hardcover ones and the small softcover ones, and these are super nice because the paper, it's like very high quality pergamon paper. How do you call it? Carta pergamena. And wait, I need to find a way to show to you the texture of the paper. The paper is very smooth, but it's that kind of very silky smoothness that it's awesome for ink work. And it also can hold a very light layer of color because it's very dense. The paste, the mixture of the paper is very dense, and it's just a very nice, like, this one is very rugged because it was the, you know, the one that you can hold and check. But you see, like, you can see here the texture of the paper. It's super nice, and this is relatively cheap, like it's €5, so it's not really cheap compared to the amount of paper, but it's a very posh kind of sketchbook. They have this small section of Kadhi paper, which is this rag Indian paper. It's made from rags and it's very rough and it's very nice for watercolor. They're selling it in the card section, not in the art paper section, because people use it for like special projects or invitations and stuff. But if you want to try this paper before buying sketchbooks or more Kadhi paper online, which is on sale online because they imported it from England, you can come here and just buy one sheet, which is €1.40, and you can try it and see if you like it. On the ground floor there is this section with pencils and pens. It's not, they don't have the array of products that you will find in a fine art store, but they have some very cool things. Like this, they have the Faber-Castell series of art things, and the upper floor they also have the artistic pastels, but here on the ground floor you can find my beloved Polychromos. I'm absolutely in love with these pencils. They have an incredible array of colors and the pigment in the pencil is awesome. I'm gonna show it to you. So these are the Polychromos. You've seen them in a lot of my live streaming and videos because I really love them. And they're very soft pigmented pencils. They're not water soluble, but they are oil-based pencils, and they're very good because they're not dry. They're very soft, oily, and you can layer them a lot, even different colors. And it takes a while for them to saturate the paper because the pigment is so strong. So these are a very, like, if you like drawing with color pencils, not the, either you use the water soluble ones because they're soft, or you can go in this direction. And they are $1.65 each, which is decent. And near the pencils, always on the ground floor, they have this ink section, which is amazing. They have a lot of different brands of inks and ink cartridges for fountain pens, which is quite cool. The brands that they have is this one. I can't really read that. They also have the Ruher and Klingner, and then they have the Stadler, and then they have cartridges in a lot of colors. So if you're a person that loves to use fountain pens and with different colors, they have a wide array of choice here. They have Lamy, and then they have, of course, Winsor & Newton, the traditional ink set, and they have also this is Ecoline, like watercolor ink, and also the huge bottles. And oh my god, this is just so pretty. Like, oh my god, I love this. And the cool thing about Modulor is that they also have all sort of art illustration books, like this one, that you have this, like, wait, let's try pull it closer. Yeah, so you can, yep, it's focusing. Or wait, oh my god, there were the animals. Wait, okay, is it focusing? Come on. Oh, we have a third color. That's so cool. I love this place. So we're leaving the ground floor, and we're going upstairs, where there's a lot of cool paper and stuff, and paper and watercolors and colors, and yeah, Modulor. So Also, frames, if you need frames. Upstairs, they have all the brushes behind nice cases. They have some of the Da Vinci version. I can't understand. I think this is the natural Bristol one version of the one that I usually use in synthetic Bristol version. But they have a lot of different kinds. They have all the decoration kind of brushes and, you know, acrylic, flat brushes. They have a decent assortment, and they said they are upgrading their brush section, so probably in the future you will find even more. But this is a nice selection of brushes, and they also have these awesome brush holders like the bamboo brush holders. Oh, can you open this? And I've been using this for years, and you just put your brushes in there, and since it's like bamboo, they can dry up very nicely, and you don't ruin the tips, and then you just roll it up. Super nice, and it's quite cheap. And they also have this. Oh my god, these are so pretty. I'm in love with this kind of brush, like the aesthetic of it. It's just beautiful. So I left Valeria at the brush section because she decided to buy one, and she's waiting for the clerk to get it because it's no self-service for the brushes. So I'm here in the sketchbook section, and I'm just gonna go show you what kind of sketchbooks and sketch pens they have. So starting from here, we have the brown paper sketchbooks, and I really like this craft paper one. I really like this paper, and it's good with ink. And they also have tonal paper sketchbooks. They have the price range. It's always with this kind of sort of self-branded sketchbooks that they have, the price range is always very honest. And they have, what do they have here? Of course, my beloved Modulor. Do they have an open one? Yeah, this is 190 grams, nostalgia, natural white. It's super smooth, so not for me. They have this universal block, also very smooth. And I'm not saying that smooth paper is bad, it's just that I'm not very fond of it. So they also have Dalerone sketchbooks. This is grain thin, which is a good texture for me. And again, the price range is very good. It's 200 grams, so it can hold layers of watercolor with no problem. It's not watercolor paper, but if you want to add color, you can. And you know, all the manila paper sketchbooks. And look, a happy kid. So you bought it?
Yes, it's mine.
Yeah, this is like, I think that this is like the new version of the ones that I have. These are synthetic bristles with this very nice Japanese style thing, and it's black. And I'm kind of mad. Oh, but this is specific. Wait, really? It's not focusing. Yeah, Modulor. Wait, so deep. Shut up. I want this now, but I won't buy it because I'm trying to be like I'm trying to be an example here. This should be a survival guide. We should stop buying things.
I say it every time.
Okay, so I was showing the sketchbooks. So yeah, here more sketch pads. You really have like wide choice. So you can really come here. They always have the master. Check for the red dot, which means that it's the one that you can touch and check and draw and see if you like it, which is a very nice thing to do. So you can come here and just touch them and try them and see which one you like more. Okay, so this is the acrylic. Oh my god, the light is so strong. This is the acrylic colors section, and they have lots of them. I don't really use acrylic, so I'm not gonna talk about that, but ooh, all the acrylics. It doesn't have a thumb anymore, it's thumbless. So they have, of course, oh my god, please. Yeah, I'm gonna do a nice. This is awesome. So, yeah. Now we are here because they also sell empty boxes for watercolors, and these are never cheap. This is something that, like, the day that I find some place where they sell these for cheap, but like the smaller one, it's 12 euros, and yeah, the big one, it's 17.50, and this is the price range. Like, I never find them at less. But something cool that they have is like all the palettes, and like especially I like this, the porcelain flower palette, and using porcelain instead of plastic for watercolor, or I really like, usually I like to do the colors inside the metal thing, but if not, I also have this porcelain palette, and it's very nice because you can really mix the color well. The problem with the plastic palettes, which these are not really watercolors but the problem with the plastic one is that when they're new, the color doesn't really stick, so you have like these drops, like it just, yeah. What is this? Oh, this is a little mortar. Oh my god, this is so cute. But yeah, they have all kinds of palettes, and I was talking about this morning during class. This is like a block of paper to use, like palette paper, and it's very environmental friendly because it's not nice to drain your acrylics, to wash like your acrylics in the sink and just let the color go into the drain. Is not very ecological, so it's better if you use acrylic, buy this and then throw it in the trash or in the plastic, because it's all plastic. So this is good. And they also have the wooden palette and the plastic palettes and everything. This is the paper section, the watercolor paper section. They have drawers with all the big sheets that you can buy individually, or those big sheets there. And they have a lot, of course, of Modulor paper, because Germany. And then they also have all these blocks, and I'm gonna do, oh, I'm completely in the shadow. I'm gonna do a quick round and show you the different kind of Modulor paper that they have. I'm very fond of Modulor paper. So these are all the kind of free single sheets Modulor paper that they have. No self-service. Be nice. They have the bamboo paper. Bamboo paper is like it says on the tin. It's paper made from bamboo. So it's kind of like, it's a little bit of an upgrade from cellulose paper. So it's good for, like, I've tried it with watercolor. I'm not really fond of it because the way that it absorbs color, it's not compatible with the way I paint. But I have some friends that they use it for mixed media and stuff, and they love it. And it's like, the price range is decent, and it's, you know, it's considered a nice paper. This one, that one, it's I don't really know, like, I haven't tried this yet, so I don't know. Maybe the texture is nice. It's kind of the same texture as the... Is this a master? So let me see if the back of the... Yeah, it's like the Britannia paper, where the texture is hot pressed only on one side and the other side is completely smooth. And this is the way you can tell like industrial hot pressed texture on paper rather than the, you know, traditional handmade or, you know, paper made with, how do you call the, you know, the cooler paper. That's the way I'm gonna explain this. This is another kind of watercolor paper. Maybe today I'll buy a little bit of all these papers and then I'll do a review about them. Let's go the other way so we don't bother people. They also have easels if you like them. So here they have this is the torsion, and I really like torsion texture. See, it's the sun is helpful right now. I really like this texture, and especially to work with the dry brush and leave like the pattern, and I can also do the animals. Shadow game. And then here, Britannia, it's my favorite paper. So this is the Britannia watercolor paper, which is my favorite kind of paper, and I really, whoa, let me show you the texture. I really love the texture because it also almost looks like canvas sort of texture, like very squared and regular, and I kind of like it. And also I found that here upstairs they have the big sheets of Kadhi paper, which is crazy expensive, as was expected. But if you can buy, it's the same paper that I showed you before downstairs, so if you want to try it, maybe it's better to buy one of the smaller sheets there, and then if you really like it, you can buy one of these bigger ones. They don't have sketchbook, or I haven't seen them yet. So upstairs they also have the watercolor specific sketchbooks, and this is the new Anemulle watercolor book, watercolor sketchbook line. And as you can see also from the prices, this is like the Anemulle alternative to Moleskine sketchbooks, and I still have to try this, but knowing Anemulle, it's like recently I had a lot of problems with the Moleskine watercolor sketchbooks. I think they changed the paper, like it sucks. Maybe you've seen it in other videos that I was like putting the color and it didn't even stick on the paper, like it was full of oily prints. But this paper, like, it's always the light kind, 200 grams kind of sketch paper, but looks decent. I won't buy this today, but I want to try this for you in the future and let you know how it is. I have one of these at home, this brand Kadhi Paper watercolor sketchbook that I still have to try. So I'll try this, and maybe I'll buy later one of these and let you know. And what are you holding? Why?
The same. Why? You asking?
Why are you holding that?
It's mine now.
Okay. This is a problem. So we remember that we had watercolors and a water brush with us. So we have a master. Oh, we also have a master of this. So we're testing these two sketchbooks, the Kadhi Paper and the Anemulle, now, very quickly. I'm just gonna do a quick test with the ultramarine blue, because ultramarine is a granulated color, so it's a good color to test paper texture. Really? No, come on. This doesn't look nice. Like, it's already airy. Maybe it's that page, maybe it's something on the brush. Okay, no, like if this is really how it is, let me try. Maybe the brush was dirty. Okay, yeah, maybe the brush was a little bit dirty because it looked very airy. Yeah, no, look how stripy it is, even if I move my color fast, like, okay. Yeah, it's very light paper. This is good just for one layer watercolor with some highlights. I don't think it hold a second layer. Let me try. I don't really like this. Let's try this. Try this. Okay, Anemule as usual always delivers. Let me see the, yeah, also with the dry brush. Yeah, this is a nice texture because this is the texture of old Fabriano paper, so it's nice. But the paper is only 35% cotton, and with this thickness, it's not really enough to hold watercolor in a nice way. So I think the Anemule one, it's better. Yeah. Yeah, I will go for the Anemule one. So I just realized that I have a lot of watercolor paper in Milano yet. And so I'm gonna be a smart person and just wait to go to Milano in 2 days and just bring back a shit ton of paper in my carry-on luggage, as you do. And this behind me is the watercolor section. I'm gonna show it to you now. So these are the brands that they have in watercolor. It's not a wide range, but it's a decent one. They have the Pastel, which is a low budget watercolor, which is good for beginners. They have this. This is like the perfect starting set for beginners, and it's also a special offer, so it's like super cheap. Like usually it's 15 euros 40, and now it's just 13 euros 10. And so for 13 euros, this is the not the professional version, it's the Contman Winsor & Newton range of watercolors, and they are like, this is what I've been telling all my students to buy when they start doing watercolors. The only thing that I tell is that the only downside of this watercolor set is that it comes with the white, which is pointless, because in the moment that you use white with watercolor, it becomes gouache. It's not pure watercolor anymore. So I always tell my students, buy this, take out the white and put Payne's gray instead of the white, because now there isn't the list of colors, but I like, there is like lemon yellow, cadmium orange, permanent rose, ultramarine blue, Prussian blue, sap green, emerald green, ochre, burnt sienna, burnt amber, and you need Payne's gray there, not white. But the thing is that they don't sell a single Contman. They only sell the single pans for Oradam, which I've never tried, so I don't. And then they sell single pans of the beautiful, amazing White Knights. And if you're interested in, this is a Russian brand, the St. Petersburg White Knights, and as you can see, they are crazy cheap. This is a full godet, not an half godet, and the price for one full godet is 270, which is very, very good price. I did a review about these watercolors. It's on my channel. I'm gonna link it down below so you can check it out. And they also sell the set of White Nights, the big. This is 12 full godet set for 40 euros plus the metal box. And if you consider that the metal box that I showed you before, empty, is 17 euros, like, this is such a good price too for watercolors.
Hi, Valeria. I'm addicted to shiny things. Look at this. These are very nice metallic colors. They are dry powders, so you need to use them with a little bit of water.
Okay, so these are not inks, because they look like inks.
No, they're not
okay.
inks, they're dry.
Okay.
You have to take a little bit, put it on your palette, mix it up with water, so that you can use them with a brush. And then you can use them to paint on paper. They're very opaque, they will cover the color below.
Okay.
And you can get very nice effects with them. Just remember to spray fix them afterwards, otherwise they will come out of the paper a bit. I love them, look at them.
The more you know, the more you buy. So here they don't have a lot of water brushes, but they have the water brush. I'm gonna do a review this month about water brushes. It's gonna be a live streaming again, because today we're using Valeria's camera, because she has memory and battery and all the things that I don't have now. I still have to buy a camera. Support my Patreon if you want more videos and if you want me to buy a decent video camera to make these videos for you. But here they have this, which is, no wait, this. This is the Pastel water brush, and I've tried a lot of water brushes. I don't want to spoil my review of water brushes, but this is the best. Just buy this. And the water flow is amazing. The synthetic Bristol tip is just so good. And they have different size, and I suggest to buy the round tip bigger one, but I think they're out of it now. And these brushes, they cost like around 6 euros one, but they last forever and I just love them. Okay, this is the final stop. If you survive this, you're free to leave this place. This is the paper section. It's just paper everywhere. Any kind of paper, like wood paper, if that's the name, cardboard, random fluorescent paper, because early, of course, plastic paper, and I don't know, transparent fluorescent paper, and I'm bumping into things, and again more paper. And okay, this is where I wanted to take you. They have the canson. Okay, they have the canson. I can't really pronounce this. Me-tint. You speak French. How do you pronounce this?
Me-tint.
Me-tint?
Me-tint. No,
Me-tint.
I don't speak French that good.
Okay, whatever. My tints. And these are the canson paper for artistic pastels, and they are just the best paper for artistic pastel. They have a very cool texture. It's not too much, not too little. They have a very wide range of colors, and they have some of these like awesome neutral tones. And you see, it's like all of this, like from here, all of this is the canson pastel paper, so they really have a wide range. All the browns and the natural colors, and we can't record people. And they have more plastic color paper, and then no, it's not here. Wait, where is it? I wanted to show you the moon rock paper. Maybe it's okay, wait, it's here. And this is my favorite paper, moon rock paper. This is so good for book binding because you can use it like carta pesta, so you can mold it. It's awesome. Okay, it's time to go. Are we ready? Okay, our basket is not that full. No. It could have been worse. There are a very expensive, yeah, exactly. There's just very expensive brush, but it's empty. Okay, so now we're gonna go back downstairs, because after you go round and round and you survive and you try not to buy everything that you see, you go downstairs to the cashiers, and of course on the way to the cash register there's, wait, where is the downstairs? There is a ton of pretty things. Let's go. Okay, we are on our way to the cash register, and as you can see, it's just pretty stuff. Like, look at this. Tape, color tape, just so pretty. All the tape, and then the light boxes. This is like all the cool, the cheap frames, and then they have the bags for a lot of things, and then more pretty paper, everything on your way to the cash register. So it's almost over. We almost arrived. Yeah, we're gonna pay and then say goodbye to you. So we paid. One last thing that I want to show you before we leave is that after you get out of the cashiers, there is this section where you can cut, use the super huge professional cutter. Yeah, super huge professional cutter, cutting table, and then packing station with plastic and everything, which is very, very useful and helpful. And I just love this place so much. So now I'm gonna retrieve my coat from here, and oh, thank you for holding the camera. You don't need to see me putting on my coat. Okay, so let's just say goodbye now. So, what can we say? This is the bag I'm leaving with. It's not that big. So, like, we've been good. So I hope this whole adventure was helpful for you, and I hope that you have, like, now some tools to approach this huge shop and get out of it alive.